Hey, what's good, everybody? If you found and clicked on this video, I would consider yourself extremely lucky because there is a ton of value in this video that not a lot of people are going to see due to my lack of subscribers and lack of views that I get. But what it's made up for is in market experience of the last 5 years and lots of success that I've been seeing using these concepts. Now, what I'm going to be getting into in this video is I've seen a lot of educators and a lot of gurus tell inexperienced people when to trade and when not to trade without giving any sort of reasonable explanation. And so you're probably going into the market unsettled, nervous, on whether you should be actually trading or not trading and things along that nature. So what I'm going to be breaking down in this video is how you can use weekly profiles and the economic calendar news events to give you a roadmap on knowing when to trade the high probability days and knowing when to expect it's going to be a low probability day with tough conditions. Something that I wish I had found out and had experienced so long ago and early in my career. So let's go ahead and break it down. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today, I wanted to do something a little bit different where I cover how I use the economic calendar in order to forecast an upcoming week to kind of get an idea beforehand of the weekly profile that I can anticipate and look to frame trades off of. Now, this doesn't mean it is a foolproof gonna work 10 out of 10 times, but it just gives you an idea of what to expect going into the week based off of the news. And you adjust as you go along. Like, say you are bullish um, going into the week, and then all of a sudden news events occur, and then technical analysis is looking a little bit different. So then you can adjust from there and say, okay, now I expect the other news event to do this, where I can target this at this time. So that'll make sense in a little bit here. I have a screenshot of the current news coming up for this week. It is the 22nd to the 26th, and I have all the red folder news up for this week for the US dollar. And starting off here, we have Monday with no news, Tuesday with some red folder news, Wednesday with nothing, Thursday with final GDP and unemployment claims, so that'll be a pretty volatile day, and then some red folder news on Friday here as well. Now, immediately what I'm thinking is there's no major news coming into this week. So last week was FOMC. And when I say major news, that's what I'm talking about is FOMC, CPI, PPI, and NFP. Those are the big four. FOMC last week was a big one because it was the first rate cut that we've had in 9 months, I think it was, and so there's a lot of anticipation following up to it and a lot of volatility in the markets based off of that, a little extra volatility, I should say. Now that we're on the back end of that, meaning it's already happened, it should be a little bit more predictable and a little bit easier to read price action. And this is the news that we have for the upcoming week. So when we have something like this, what I'm anticipating is with a no news Monday and news the rest of the week following that, I'm anticipating that Monday is going to be an engineering of liquidity day. Okay, so let's go in and say we are technically bullish for the week. And when I say technically, I'm saying the things on the chart with the candlesticks are hinting to me that we could potentially be bullish. So with technical analysis, I'm bullish going into the week. Monday, it could end up being a great trading day. Sometimes Monday no news are banger days. A lot of the times it's going to engineer liquidity, okay? So if I see this with no news and this red folder news the following day, what we could see for weekly profile, and I'm bullish, is I'm going to expect that Monday is going to cause an engineering of liquidity. Now, again, that's not to say that there's not going to be any moves, right? There could be like a nice 9:30 a.m. Judas swing move in the morning or something, and then it kind of consolidates for the rest of the day. It could expand. That's not the point of this. It's not about being right. It's about going into the day, building or into the week rather, building a technical framework to not go in completely blind and wonder what's going to happen. So we're expecting that Monday is going to be an engineering of liquidity. And of course, some highs are going to get taken, some lows are going to get taken, but we want to see what this previous day high and what this previous day low is going to form, where it's going to form, and how we can adjust technically for it. So then we can go into the next Tuesday and look and say, okay, so Monday right here ended up being an engineering of liquidity. And let's say it's Tuesday now. Well, we look at the next day and there's no news on Wednesday. With weekly profile on a Tuesday, what can we typically expect sometimes? And if you're newer, you probably don't know. If you do have more market experience and more education with ICT, weekly profile suggests, and also if you need to know more about weekly profile, go through the educational content in that channel in the Discord. I have all the videos listed that I use every single day, every single week in my trading analysis, and this is part of it. We can expect that Tuesday is going to create the low or high of the week. And if I'm bullish for the week and Monday has engineered liquidity, I'm expecting that Tuesday is probably going to give a stab lower. So it could do something like this, go higher, and then give a big move lower, powered by news. Okay? So we could expect something like this, a stab of liquidity lower. Whoops. You get the point right there. That's going to take out all of this engineered sell side from Monday. Okay, and let's say, and it's even better and supports it technically if we go into, let's say, like a daily fair value gap right here. And this is the point in the week where you probably have a better idea of if your weekly profile idea is playing out or not. Because let's say we don't see something like this happen on Tuesday when we are bullish for the week. Maybe we get it to the opposite side, and then we have a like we went higher right here, took out all these highs and finished up higher. Well, then we could say that maybe with all of these engineered lows right here, we could have created a Tuesday high of the week and we go down and take all this sell side right here. It all depends. It's just about adjusting as you go along in the week with price action. So this is just a scenario. Take out all the sell side right here on Tuesday with news, and then we begin to see a move higher for the remainder of the day, right? And then we finish, let's say, around here, right? Okay, so now Tuesday's done, and we have Wednesday coming up. Wednesday, if there's no news and we have established the weekly direction of sell side taken, Tuesday low of the week, and we're getting proof that we're starting to move higher, then we can expect that Wednesday and Thursday could potentially be our expansion days higher because the manipulation for the week that we're expecting has already happened. So Wednesday, we would want to see a continuation of these highs. And at that point, I'm looking at more buy side liquidity made from a later point or an earlier point somewhere up here, here. I'm looking at fair value gaps all the way on the left side up here, right? This is all price action that obviously isn't there right now, but this is just how, where I'm building my targets for the week, okay? Starting with previous day highs and previous day lows. So that is why it's so important to always list out those important points of liquidity that I'm always stressing, is because they're just obvious targets once you have your weekly direction established. So now we expect Tuesday is going to give that continuation. Maybe you give it a little drop in the morning right here for like a 9:30 a.m. Judas swing, take out a low. Maybe this is London low or something like that. And then we expect Wednesday to expand. What if it doesn't expand? What if it just does this? Because there's no news right here. And this doesn't always happen, right? Maybe even if there is no news on a Wednesday, it could expand just because we have our weekly direction established and the manipulation has already happened. Let's say that it does nothing. It just kind of hangs out right here, right? And maybe goes a little bit lower. Then we're expecting Thursday and Friday to likely expand because this has just been your stage of accumulation in an overall market maker buy model. And now this is getting kind of advanced, but if you are, an ICT trader and you're studying his content like you should be if you are a newer trader, this is something that should be making sense once you get further along in your journey. So Thursday occurs, we did nothing on Wednesday, right? It's all about adjusting as time goes on and looking at what the previous day did and what news we have for the rest of the week. So we know that Thursday and Friday has red folder news, Wednesday had red folder news, or it had no red folder news, and we just accumulated. So now I'm expecting that Tuesday is going to have a really large expansion higher because we have all of these targets right here that need to be met. And we begin to trade higher, and Tuesday gets exactly what we want to see, is that move higher. Okay? Now, all of a sudden, Friday becomes interesting because this is where you have to decide, have your weekly targets been hit? That could be previous week high, obvious daily equal highs, obvious weekly equal highs. It's just going to be some target that is going to make sense in the moment of what you're looking to see for the week. If that has been hit by Thursday, then you could potentially look for a Friday TGIF retracement. Say up here is our buy side liquidity that we're looking for the week, and Thursday traded right here. Okay, well, we have a lot of room left before we reach that, so we could see a continuation on Friday. Friday opens, we consolidate overnight, we do nothing, and then I'm expecting a 9:30 Judas swing at New York Open, hopefully below these lows, and then get that move higher for the morning, and then hit weekly targets. Let's say another scenario where we open up and we just immediately keep going on Friday, and then your weekly target is hit. Okay, well, now all of a sudden your weekly target is hit. We've only gone higher since midnight, and we have all of this sell side engineered right here. Well, now I can make sense of a TGIF retracement right here since all my buy side targets have been hit and there's obvious liquidity right here. Maybe I can look for a retracement to 20% of that weekly range right there, 20 to 30%, right? So this is how you use news and weekly profiles together. And again, when it's Sunday and you're going into Monday, a lot of the times you're probably not going to get it right for the week. Where it's like, okay, I'm expecting exactly this to happen based on the current news week we have coming up. Many times it's going to be adjusting based on what the day did before and what news we have upcoming and what targets are left and what targets have been hit already, right? So that is how you can use news and weekly profiles together to get a better idea on establishing a weekly and daily bias. And then it becomes even more powerful and you hit even bigger trades once all of that is in alignment with your session bias and you're able to get positioned at a good spot and trade with the weekly range expansion. So I hope this helped you guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment or hit me with any kind of DM, and I will be more than happy to help. In the Discord, I can be more aware of trying to implement this and make it more obvious for people to see. But yeah, hope this helped, guys, and take care.